Hey guys, Chris here. Tonight, I am in the National Forest here, right at the base of the Sierras. I believe this is the Tahoe National Forest. I'm in a regional park, not too far from where I live. I'm going to be spending the night here, and we have the pop-up camper tonight, and it should be a lot of fun. I am going to be talking about a very small town over in the next county, and the town is haunted. It's pretty wild. I got some stories, some ghost stories to talk about tonight, and that is what we're doing. That's next. It's maybe like 38, 40, something like that. Not too bad, but it's, you know, when you don't have gloves on, you're setting things up. It can be, you feel it. So, anyways, I am going to be making some Reuben sandwiches, and I have all the ingredients for that. I'm going to get my beer going, and I have my new Mr. Heater Buddy portable space heater. So it's actually a propane heater. Check that out. And anyways, we can get that going. Anyways, I am snug as a bug in a rock here. I could, even with the lantern, I can feel some heat. So it's kind of cool. It's made for easy carrying around. And the propane canister, check that out. It just attaches, threads on to the side there like that. And let's see if we can get this thing going here. There we go. Look at that. That's my space heater. Look at that. That's how we got to do winter, guys. All right. Alright, check this out, guys. I got this bin at Walmart, and you can see how big it is. It's a good sized bin. It's only 7 inches deep, which is perfect. It's even got wheels on it. Look at that, little wheels you can have on your shelf and pull out. And then it opens from each end. Pop it open like that, and look at that. And then it folds open, and you can get at your gear. And so I got my camping gear kind of organized inside here, and I just love this thing. Instead of the big deep ones, and I can see everything too. I don't have to dig through a big pile of stuff. So got that at Walmart. And the name brand is just Sterilite, and it's just a big long 36 by 20 by 7 double-sided bin. But anyways, just thought I'd show you that. I'm always trying to keep my gear organized. That's half the battle. So okay, so I'm going to be using the propane canister and the stove here, backpacker stove. But the key is This is not for indoor use, and so I am right next to the window here, which is wide open, so that is going to give me some ventilation. Otherwise, yeah, I could get in trouble pretty quickly. Okay, so we have some dark rye, baby Swiss cheese, one of the pastrami. Couldn't find the corned beef. It's all right. A little butter, some pickles. Why not? I enjoy it with pickles. And raw sauerkraut. And Nevada beer, Battleborn, born and brewed in the heart of Nevada. So I'm in Nevada, so that's perfect for tonight. So we're just gonna go right after that one. There we go. Cheers. And then the Swiss cheese really puts it over the top. I like to put 2 pieces on. And, but I just trying to get out this week, and I thought, yeah, let's find something close and see if we can make it work. So, but I got some really good stories later. If anything, we'll do them in the camper. I got some firewood for a campfire, but we'll get them going. So. This stuff is so tasty, though. It really is. Let's pack it on. For me, that just finishes up. Almost looks like an egg. Thousand Island dressing. Marie's. It's really good. Probably not the healthiest sandwich in the world, but man, with the beer, camping, that is so tasty. He's gonna load it. Load it up. A little darker than I wanted to on that side. There it is. Reuben Sandwich. Oh, these are so tasty. Look at that. Steaming. And the beer. There we go. It's like my little cafe. That's what I said last time. I love this table. I love this setup. It is. It's a little cafe here. I just need like one of those little jute boxes right here behind the lantern. But all right, cheers. These are so good. Seriously, I love a good Reuben sandwich. Maybe next time I'll get some clam chowder or some soup. All right. And this camper is a lot of fun. It's nice being warm in January. It's going to get down to about 28 tonight. Not too bad. And then I got the Kelty Cosmic Zero tonight. That's going to keep me warm too. And then this little Mr. Buddy heater's been working really nice all night. And it'll stay warm in here for a little while after I get into the sleeping bag. So, and this is putting out some good heat too. Seriously. These old Colemans. I love this thing. Gotta get that handle down there. But yeah, I've had this since the 90s. I think, yeah, since the 90s I've had this. So. This is very interesting. I got a canvas tent. It's called the White Duck Regatta. I've seen other people on YouTube with it, but I did some research. Really nice canvas tent, 10-foot circumference. It's a circular tent, about 3 feet around the sides, and then it comes in to a pole in the middle, kind of like a little circus tent or something. 3 little windows around that zip open, big door flaps open with screen on it, and it has a stove pipe opening in the ceiling or the roof. And so I got a stove for it, a wood stove with a 8 or 9 foot stove pipe that'll go right through. And then I got this beautiful tent that I can stay warm in, and I can, you know, we'll talk some history, we'll have some good ghost stories, and I won't have to freeze my my tail off. So in Eastern California, there's a county called Alpine County, and that is the least populated county in California. It's got about 1,035 people currently living in the whole county. It's got 700 square miles of public lands there, including 3 national forests, which are the Stanislaus, El Dorado, and the Humboldt National Forest, as well as a couple wilderness areas there. And I love Alpine County. It's just beautiful country. It's at the Sierra Nevadas and kind of the Nevada desert meet, and there's the Nevada-California border is right there, and that is where Kit Carson came through in 1843, I believe, with John Fremont on their expedition exploring the West and finding routes to California. I talked about that in one of my other videos, and they came right through there, brought a lot of notoriety to that area. At that time, there was nobody out here outside of, you know, the Native Americans that had been living here for centuries. And in that county is a town called Markleeville, very historic town, and really interesting. I've been reading about it, and it's really a sweet little town. It's got a general store, an old-fashioned general store, like from Little House on the Prairie or something, and some bars, and a couple of restaurants, and a few hotels, and there's even a resort along the river. I mean, some cabins and things along the Carson River. It's quite a fly fishing area with the Carson River and many streams coming together, and just beautiful country. But it also is a lot of stories of these businesses, these buildings, these historic locations are haunted. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. This super rural county, very small town, like I said, 200 people, maybe 210 people live in this town, and the population in the county continues to kind of go down a little bit from what I've been seeing. So in 1861, there was a man by the name of Jacob Markley who got a land claim for 160 acres in this meadow, this really beautiful area in Alpine County, and he established that was the first established acreage for this town called Markleeville, and he also built a bridge across the Carson River, and he wanted to catch traffic of people heading up to another town called Silver Mountain City. So the bridge, he converted that to a toll bridge to collect money from people, because back in those days, if you didn't have a way to get across the river, if it was spring and there was spring runoff from the mountains and the river was high, it'd be really challenging to get across in your wagon. So he said, yeah, I'll charge a fee for people to come across, and they'll gladly pay it, because they want to go to this boom town called Silver Mountain City, which was higher up in the mountains from Markleeville. And Markleeville was very unestablished at that time. And this Silver Mountain City was a total classic boom town. There's a lot of stories about that as well. In fact, there's an old mansion up there that I'm going to check out next summer that's along Silver Creek, which comes down from Silver Mountain City. But this boom town went bust, which is what happens, and there's a lot of these towns in eastern California, Nevada. There's ghost towns, a lot of ghost towns out here. It's fun. I'm going to be doing some ghost town hunts and searches next summer. It'll be a lot of fun. But this town went bust, and in fact in 1874 silver was demonetized, which means they were no longer using that as the standard. And so silver took a big dive, and what happened was people decided to move down to this area called Markleeville, and so they were starting to sell lots on this 160 acre, these plots. And this man named Jacob Markley ended up getting killed in a gunfight. What happened was he had a partner that was part of his business dealings, but they weren't really clear what his take was. Was it from the toll bridge or was it from the lots? And the partner said, no, it's from everything. And Jacob Markley said, no, it's just from the bridge, the toll bridge. And then they had a heated argument, and then this partner came up to Jacob's cabin up in the mountains, in the woods there, and they had a heated exchange, and Markley got got very concerned, and he put on his gun belt. This guy took that as a threat. I don't know who shot who first, but the partner shot Jacob Markley, killed him, and that was the beginning of Markleeville, essentially right there. And so what happened was that people that were in Silver Mountain City started to come down to Markleeville, and then they would also move to other areas. But when they did come down to Markleeville, if they had a business up there, if they had a saloon up there, or a restaurant or a hotel, many times they would take it apart board by board, stack it, write the number, like left corner 1 with a pencil on the boards, and then they get the window frames, and then they would bring it down to the next town. This happened to be Markleeville. They would put the buildings back together and a new lot and leverage that old business into a new location. And so that happened quite a bit. So one of these buildings was called the Exchange Saloon that was in Markleeville. It previously was from Silver Mountain City, and it was a bordello. Nobody knew exactly who dismantled it and brought it down, but it became the Exchange Saloon. So the Exchange Saloon ran for quite a long time as the Exchange Saloon, and then at some point it was sold in the early to mid 1900s to the Koenig family, which was a mother and a daughter, and they lived together in this home. And they found out really pretty quickly there was something going on with this home, and turns out it was a ghost. And they would have things, just odd things happen to them. They would put things down in a certain place, like a watch or something, and then they would come back and it would be gone. It would be somewhere else. Toilet seat would be up when both of them would always put it down. And they say that children are more sensitive to things like ghosts. And sure enough, the little girl came down one day and said, yeah, there's an old man wearing, really raggedy clothes I saw last night, and he was walking down the hallway through this old saloon, and the clothes that she described was from a miner's clothing. And she would see him go by her bedroom and down the hallway, go around the corner and just disappear. And then the next night she would actually come in her room and she would talk to him. And there was stories about this little girl interacting with this old miner, and they got so used to him, and then even the mother got used to him. They called him Jake. And they must have had some reason to call him Jake. I don't know, but that was at the Exchange Saloon, which became a residence. But next door to the old Exchange Saloon was a building called the Toll Station Hotel. Ran as a hotel for a long time. And I believe Toll Station was from Jacob Markley having his toll bridge, and so they just named it after that. But in 2005, there was a couple that had 3 kids. They were in that area, and they were climbing and recreating up in Ebbets Pass area, which is right above Markleeville. You know, the pass up there. It's a beautiful winding road that heads way up there. In fact, they gate that thing off in the winter because it's so high and gets so much snow that they have to keep people off of it. There'd be a lot of trouble if people went up there. But in 2005, this couple was up there recreating. They came down to Markleeville to get a hotel for the night, and they stayed at the Toll Station Hotel. They checked in, everything was fine. It was actually a stormy night, which is really interesting. A cold, rainy, stormy night, and they were watching some TV. They had the Miss America pageant on, apparently. Kids were playing some board games, and everything seemed normal. The husband did mention that the owner, when they checked in, she was out getting some luggage and coming in, that there was a man ghost that occasionally frequents some of the rooms there, and they kind of both laughed that off. They thought, oh, okay, that's kind of weird, but it's kind of funny. They didn't think too much of it. They went to bed that night, 2 queen beds in this very small, you know, hotel room. You know, it's from the 1800s, so these rooms are fairly small. Couple of windows there, had some moonlight coming in, and the mom and dad are in the queen bed over here, and then 2 of the kids were in bed, the daughter and the son, and then the older son was on the floor in a sleeping bag. They were sleeping, and everyone is sound asleep. The mom wakes up and she hears a little girl voice. And the little girl voice goes, "Hi." And she thought, oh, that was her daughter. So she rolls over to her right, and she sees that her daughter is sound asleep. And so she hears it again. "Hi." She turns over to her husband, and then she looks up, and there's this little girl, an 8-year-old girl wearing a dress from like the 1860s or 70s, very kind of a plain dress, straight hair, dark hair, and she was staring intently at her husband. She looked at their kids to make sure her kids were okay. She looked back. When she looked back, she saw the girl disappear. She freaked out at this. She got really afraid, and I'm getting kind of goosebumps talking about this. I'm the only one in this campground, by the way. There was another camper over here. It's dark. It's been dark all night. There's no car in front of it, and then somebody else drove through an hour ago, and that's been it. But I'm the only one in here. But it's not that scary, but you never know. But she tried to wake her husband up, and he is normally a very light sleeper, and she could not wake him up for whatever reason. He would not wake up. And finally she stopped, and she thought, oh my gosh, am I did I really see what I saw? And she looked and she saw her kids looked fine, her husband was sound asleep, and she thought, okay, I need to go back to bed. I must have been dreaming or something. So she lays back in bed and she pulls the covers up and she leaves her left arm out. She starts to doze off. She feels her left arm, she's like half asleep, but she feels her left arm go like that, lift up and then fall back down really hard. It startled her. She sat up and she was again kind of freaked out. Tried to wake her husband again. He would not wake up. Really weird, because he's normally a light sleeper. And then again she's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Everything seems fine. Whenever I wake up, the kids are sound asleep. Everything's fine. I must be imagining things. So this time she pulled the covers over her head, closed her eyes, and tried to go back to sleep. Immediately she saw these bright lights. Not like a light bulb, but it was like colors, like bright yellow and orange and red. And she described it as like somebody with a water balloon filled with paint, throwing it against a wall, and it would go in this bright light. It was just kind of weird, really weird. But what freaked her out was she saw these colors, and then to the left of it, she saw the face of this 8-year-old girl, or this little girl. And she went, okay, oh my gosh, this place, there is something totally wrong with this place. She immediately prayed, did a quick prayer, and she said, please just leave us alone and go away now. And she said it immediately became calm. And she was like, okay, I think I can go to sleep. So she went back to sleep, and she woke up the next day. She couldn't wait to tell her husband what happened. So she waited for the kids to go downstairs, get some breakfast. And she said, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened. You weren't waking up, and I saw this girl. She explained the whole thing. And this girl showed up again, and it was just crazy. And and she goes, and you know what's really weird is that you said there was a man ghost here, and I didn't see a man ghost. And immediately the husband's face went white. And he's a big guy. He's like 200 pounds, 6 feet plus. And he started shaking his head, and he was like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you the whole story. She also mentioned that there was a girl ghost here as well. I just didn't tell you. and she was like, oh my gosh. And they were both, a little freaked out, but they stayed the whole night. When they checked out, they talked to the owner at the desk, and they told the owner everything that had happened or that they experienced. And the owner said, okay, that's really interesting. What room are you guys in? And they said 2, which is the one in the back, towards the back. And she says, oh, so they're coming into that room now. And so previously the ghosts had been just in the front room, and then now they happen to start expanding out. Pretty crazy. And they speculated after talking to the owner that the little girl was the daughter of a cleaning woman or a cook at the old bordello, and they thought maybe she'd been looking for a father figure, and she was very focused on the husband that had been staying at the hotel. They were just speculating. But it's time for me to get some sleep, and I got to get up early and get some breakfast going, and maybe do a little hike out back here. So all right, we will see you guys in the morning. Good morning. I slept pretty good. Heard a couple owls last night right outside, right out here. It is loud with that freeway over there though. Got up, got the heater going this morning. And Yeah, so we got a bunch of snow up here. You can see the sun rising over there up the mountain. There's my cooking for the day. Putting some water in a pouch. All right, good morning. Oh, yeah, the heater is working good today. It's chilly. It's got to be, well, let's take a look here. It is 27, and it's been warming up. So I think it was about 25 when I got up this morning. No wonder I'm cold. All right, this is what it looks like here. It is quick and convenient. It's not bad. It's really packed with a lot of stuff. I'm surprised how much you actually get in one of these. This is really a nice campground though. It's this section's closed off because it's winter, but you can see the bear box right there. Very handy to have a bear box. There's bears here. I was camping here once 3 years ago and having breakfast at a picnic table right over here. Behind my friend, I saw some movement. We were sitting at the picnic table having breakfast and a bear started walking. I was like, oh, excuse me, I think there's a bear behind you. And then it started turning and it came down this ravine right here like it was coming right for us. Pretty wild. And then he just hit the ravine and then went up towards the mountain there, so he was gone. But yeah, they smell all the food down there. It's a campground. There's a lot of cooking down here, a lot of noise, and they're curious and they're hungry, so. Yeah, these work really well though. Keeping the bears wild. Yeah, they just don't want them to be used to human food. Here's how it works. See, the handle is under here and the bear they can't get under it. There's no way. They could figure it out if they wanted to. There you go. Don't even have to lock it. That's it. Yeah. Nobody here. I am the only one here. Nice campground though. It is loud. That's the only thing I really don't like about it. It's close to my house, about 11 miles away, and it's in the national forest here. All right, well, thank you for watching, you guys. I got to get going here, get on with my day, and I appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. There's a lot going on in this world with all this COVID stuff and just people acting crazy, and I don't know, just gotta stick together and have a good day though. All right, you guys, as always, keep hiking.